Kassim Afegbua is a spokesperson to former military head of state, General Ibrahim Mercy Babangida. He served as a commissioner for information and orientation in Edo State. Mr. Afegbua, only recently, I think about a few months back, you did issue a statement on behalf of your principal.
February.
Okay, that's to be precise.
2018, yeah.
You can't forget that date.
No.
And you said in the statement, you actually called for President Muhammadu Buhari not to seek a re-election. Now that President Buhari is in the race for 2019 election, what do you think will happen next year?
Well, if you study that statement very carefully, you will understand that we were very choosy in our wordings. We said, even though we do realize the president has got a constitutional right which cannot be taken away from him to seek re-election, we were only calling on Nigerians to look elsewhere in search of a new leadership that will further the narrative of a greater Nigeria in the 21st century. And we, catalog a number of issues that are bedeviling us, chief of which is the issue of insecurity and the wholesale killings that have become part and parcel of our politics, particularly in the last 2 years. The thinking when President Buhari was coming on stream was that given his military background and by virtue of the kind of recommendations that people gave him, we thought he would be a better hand to handle insecurity in the country and also unify the country, having served in various capacities, in various barracks across the country. We expect that he will understand the dynamics and the intricate logic of the Nigerian Federation. But 3.5 years down the line, the initial fears expressed by some persons who never wanted to support his aspiration in 2015 have come to full stream.
President Buhari thinks he deserves a second term. He often touts his records on security and corruption. Do you think, why should he be re-elected?
No, I pray re-electing President Buhari will be a bad dream for me and my household, because I'm a full-grown adult who can rationalize between good and bad, who can see from available evidence, from introspection, from dissecting the expectations of the people. I have not seen the reason why the president will want to seek a re-election. I have argued on national televisions and other platforms that the president needs to move within the pace of the country and not wanting the pace to move at his own slow pace. The country must decide the direction that the president will go, not the president deciding what the country should be. Because a country with so much opportunities as Nigeria desires a leadership orientation that is ready to confront issues head-on, a leadership that has a hands-on approach to issues. When killings take place, for example, you don't see the president taking swift action to arrest the drift. No. We have seen the president visit a couple of states, Taraba, Benue, almost at the point that he was being pushed to go and show some level of solidarity with the people of Benue. When he got there, it was then he knew that even his Inspector General of Police that he sent on a mission to mitigate the crisis They didn't even spend 24 hours there. That's what you get when you are not in charge. So, the man may say his policies, his agenda centers around anti-corruption, good governance, and security. But we have not seen them play out in the last 3.5 years in a manner that will make us to appreciate that, no, this man deserves to continue. And I say this with all due sense of responsibility. I was one of those who canvassed for votes for President Buhari on the assumption that given his background as a military president, we needed somebody who could, apply some kind of...
That actually takes me to the next question. Yes. Only recently, you served under an APC-led government in Edo State. Yes. And you have grown critical of this same government. Yes. What has changed since 2016? Good.
I served in an APC government.
Led by Adam Soshomole.
Yes.
He's the chairman of the national chairman of the APC.
Of course. No doubt about that. I was, even when it was ACN, that was when I came here after 4 years. I wasn't a member of ACN, but I registered as a member of APC as formation in 2014. And we were preaching change, as the slogan of the party. Change that's doing things differently. Because ordinarily in Nigeria, we were expecting that there will be some level of attitudinal reorientation of minds of people towards governance, public finances, accountability, probity, and transparency in government. We're thinking that when the APC will come to power, which they eventually did in 2015, they will be able to understand the dynamics in the country, the divisions, the different disparities, and the different regional expectations, across the 6 geopolitical zones, to the extent that they will be able to translate all those expectations into something edible for the people. That is the only way you can move or you can drive governance process. I give you a typical example. In our manifesto, we canvass for votes on the strength of restructuring the country. 2 years thereafter, in 2017, a committee they were almost not going to talk about restructuring again until the issue became topical across the country. And in that process, a committee was set up, headed by Malam Nasir El-Rufai, governor of Kaduna State, to work out the modalities for restructuring. But we discovered that there were discordant tunes, even within the presidency, with respect to restructuring. The vice president says he's an advocate of restructuring. He even gave examples of what he did when he was Lagos State as Attorney General. Right. Fantastic. But the president says, no, there's nothing like restructuring. I don't believe in it. You see, in one government, we started seeing a lot of different positions. It means one thing. There is no coordination. There is no synergy. I give another typical example before you bring the next question. In Benue State, when the 73 persons were killed, ab initio, and it was mass burial, the president sent the IG there. The Minister for Defense gave a different reason what led to that killing. The DG SSS, as it were then, Daura, gave a different reason. The Inspector General of Police said it was a communal clash. One said they were blocking the routes of the herders, that's why. So in one government, 4 heads of the different security agencies gave 4 different positions as the reason why issue of killing was taking place in Benue. It means that there is a failure of intelligence gathering. It means that the persons operating these security agencies do not have interagency correlation and coordination. So you see that a lot of people are working at different purposes for the same government, which should not be. In the 21st century world, for God's sake, you know who the leader is, you know who the president is, and you should be able to own up to the responsibility of giving certain assignments and delegate duties to certain persons, and you expect a particular outcome.
I'll come back to what was the breaking point for you. But for now, your former boss, Adams Oshomole, has constantly tagged the PDP a party of looters, often referring to the years of brazen corruption under the PDP administration. Why did you join the PDP, and do you agree with former Governor Adams Oshomole?
I will only laugh at such kind of weather-beaten, rhetorics. Rhetorics that do not advance any conceptual discourse in appreciating the issues that have caused our underdevelopment and what have you. You see, it is easier for persons to label others as being looters, as being corrupt, and all of that. But even with this, the same government that has preached or that has been preaching anti-corruption, that preached change as its own operative word, right, we haven't seen any clear-cut approach to fighting corruption. I'll give you simple examples. Abdul Rashid Mena was suspended by previous government of the same PDP that is said to be corrupt, or looters, as you say. Granges, the former Minister of Health, was eased out of her job because she didn't repatriate a certain amount of money at the end of budgeting year. And what is she called now? The secretary of NHIL, as we speak, is being driven in and out of the villa. Mena was recalled, but Bachilawa, who was accused of corruption, was eased out. As we speak, is being driven in and out of the villa. It's part and parcel of their campaign structure. Abdul Rashid Mena was brought in, promoted. Until Nigerians shouted, we didn't know that he had been reabsorbed into the system. Even at that, can you see Abdul Rashid Mena now? He escaped. So they said. But when Fayose was just leaving government, they placed him on watch lists across all the border agencies.
Is your problem the fact that the war against corruption is doesn't cover everyone?
I have a little bit of intuition, right, and a little bit of training in anti-corruption studies, at least under the U.S. government in the United States. Okay. And when you talk about fighting corruption, it is not just a matter of saying, oh, these are looters, these are not. The same people you accuse of looting, the same people you go to them at night to plead with them when they want to leave your party. So that to me is a contradiction. The same people you accuse of looting, they donated money to you when you were campaigning in 2015. You grabbed the money, you enjoyed their private jets. They took you around the country, chauffeur-driven in executive vehicles. At the end of the day, you won election. Now you remember that somebody is a looter because he's just leaving your party. If these persons have not left your party, will you accuse them of such? No. So that to me, I see as double standard. And it's hypocrisy of the highest order. You see, when you want to combat corruption, you must live by examples. You must be able to damn the consequences of individuals who are involved, because it could be your own stepbrother, it could be your younger brother, it could be your cousin, it could be your uncle. And one of the problems of fighting corruption in Africa, which we were taught, is that our sense of communalism often brings out the weaknesses in anti-corruption studies. Once I know you to be my cousin, uncle, niece, nephew, and I see you presiding over a particular agency and you have been found corrupt and you are brought to me, there will be some level of restriction the way I will want to expose you to the public.
What exactly is the message of the opposition People's Democratic Party going into this election? And I say this because, what are the key issues and the selling points of the party? Knowing that this party was rejected 3 years ago by Nigerians.
Listen. You don't even need a crystal daisy to underscore the fact that 2019 elections will be between APC and Nigerians. It is not a PDP for the take, no. It will be between those who want prosperity and those who want hardship, poverty, deprivation. Nigeria has become the headquarters of extreme poor and poverty-stricken people. That shouldn't be a narrative for the 21st century world. If you are fighting anti-corruption, if you are fighting corruption, and you are getting money back to the system, the expectations will be that you should be able, to make life better for the people so that they will feel the impact positively of your anti-corruption fight. But in this case, we have people make so much mouth about recoveries. Have you forgotten the $43 million Ikoyi Osborne building money? Can you tell me, as an investigative journalist, what has become that particular probe? We don't have the information. They got money in Kaduna Airport. They can't tell us where that money is as we speak. $323 million Abacha loot recovery. Where is the money? They say, oh, we are investing it into a social welfare program of distributing 5,000, 10,000 to people. Meanwhile, you go to the market to Sukuk to go and borrow 100 billion naira to fix roads. Does it add up? 160 billion Abacha loot. Now, you are distributing that to people and you are going to borrow 100 billion to say you want to fix roads. Have you gone around Nigerian roads? At least the opportunity of this presidential campaign took me around all the 36 states. Some of them, majority of them, will have to travel by road, late at night and during the day. My sister, you need to continue to lament until we get some level of reprieve from our government. Our roads are death traps. People are dying daily.
It just concluded People's Democratic Party presidential primaries did not go your way. Your candidate, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State, lost to former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Are you fully committed to your party's candidate?
Anything that will provide me a platform to mobilize Nigerians to vote against APC and Buhari, I am fully committed to it. Because Nigeria will go under if we have a repeat of 4 years of a government that has shown colossal failure on all fronts of its own campaign manifesto. Restructuring, they've kept it at the back. Insecurity is more than ever before. You can't travel between Kaduna and Abuja roads now. You are at the mercy of kidnappers and abductors. Every day you carry any newspaper you read, you see killings. Killings, kidnappings, and wanting bloodshed. That shouldn't be the narrative for a country that wants to get its adrenaline going in the 21st century world. And you see, we have to face the issue squarely. The president, having won election, how many states has he gone to even thank the people and even share in their aspirations? We haven't seen that. Maybe about 5 or 6 states since becoming president. Now, because he wants to seek a re-election, you are likely going to see some caterpillars on the road in the name of trying to fix our road, want to construct roads. And they'll be singing songs. Nigeria is so beautiful on paper. When the president presents a speech to Nigerians and is reading his speech, oh my God, you will think Nigeria is one Paris, some kind of El Dorado. But when you travel across the states of the Federation, when you see the quality, the bad state of our roads, when you see shanties as educational institutions, when you see people still taking lectures under the trees, where are the Almajiri schools? You say you are feeding people, school feeding program, and you are celebrating, so under what condition are you feeding these children? Have you gone around schools to see their parlor state, decayed infrastructure, blown off roofs? When rain falls, classrooms are flooded, and yet you will come back and you want me to celebrate you? No. I've gone around this country 18 days, we were able to travel around 34, 35 states. And I saw infrastructure in their decay status. For God's sake, we deserve more than this.
Do you think an Atiku stands a chance against a Muhammadu Buhari who is known to have a bank load, I should say, quote and unquote, of about 12 million votes in the Northwest?
No. Please, I beg you, Mercy, save me all those platitudes.
From 1999?
No. Please, I beg you. Save me all those platitudes. I am not just a Nigerian who is conversant with my political environment. I am a Nigerian who is a partaker in the political evolutionary process. I have been national chairman of a party before in this country. I know this country in and out. See, all those narratives of 12 million votes are pales into insignificance. If you look at the scenario, President Buhari contested with Yar'Adua in 2007. He got 6.8 million votes. So, it doesn't exist when you say 12 million votes. No, he contested in 2003 against Obasanjo. He didn't score 10 million votes. So the issue is, when he was contesting with a man from a minority tribe, that's in Goodluck Jonathan,
right,
who comes from a very small state, who is a Christian, and who cannot speak Hausa and all of that, chances are that his political opportunity will increase. But now contesting with a fellow northerner, a Fulani stock, a Muslim, who has been part and parcel of the power equation in this country, at least in the last 30 years. You can't tell me again that President Buhari has 12 million votes. The same voters who have been made impoverished by bad policies of government, by complete neglect of these persons. And you are thinking that the same people will vote for him? No. If you look at the APC as it is now, it is not only fractured, it is not only divided, they are fighting themselves every day. Governors are being accused of being bad losers. Governors are also responding that we are not bad losers. They are asking for the head of the chairman. The chairman is also telling certain persons to go to leave the party because they are creating problems. So there are so many issues that have weakened the very foundation of the APC. It will take a ninth-day wonder for an APC to defeat Nigerians in 2019.
Interesting. Atiku's choice of Governor Peter Obi as his VP has divided a section of the Southeast base of your party, a Southeast base of your party. What exactly is going on? Don't you think it has divided a section of the party, of the base? And it needs the Southeast for this election. A united Southeast.
We know what is happening. You see, people like, we're part and parcel.
Are you in support of a Peter Obi vice presidential candidacy?
The presidential candidate, in his wisdom, as a political player, has taken a decision to choose a solid material from the Southeast as vice president. And that is it's like preparing the way for a Southeast presidency after him. Now, if certain persons say the procedure taken and the process did not go down well with them, there are internal mechanisms that have been put in place to address all of that. And as we speak now, all of that has been addressed, and there's internal party cohesion. Because only one person must emerge, not two, not three. One person. So if you have, an array of very solid, qualified, well-read Nigerians from the Southeast extraction, chances are that you only choose one person. And Peter Obi has come into the fray. So it is the responsibility of all of us, as party members, as followers, as believers, in the Atiku presidency for 2019, to work together so we can unseat this old, slow, and steady kind of leadership that we have. You see, we cannot continue, to rotate on the same axis and expect different results. No, we must think outside the box. And in the 21st century world, you need a president that has his hands on issues. I have listened to Atiku on a number of occasions in different platforms, speaking extemporaneously and addressing key issues of governance, of restructuring, of job creation, of health, of education. That's the kind of thing I want to see. And don't forget, a government that is set out to fight corruption, to improve education, is voting 7% in his budget, for education. Yet, it tells you he's feeding school children. If you go to the institutions that we have in this country, there is no clear-cut education policy. He said that also wants to strike today, or Labour want to strike tomorrow. Everybody is neither here nor there. And a country with flourishing opportunities as Nigeria, all you need to do is just to choose the right persons to preside over this institution. And that is why Machiavelli said in one of his books that the nature of a president and his brains is seen from the quality of persons around him. You know, for this particular government, we have not seen the quality because even the man himself lacks the competence to manage our disparities in this 21st century era.
Sir, people are concerned about the use of state forces to intimidate opponents. You are a case in point. Yeah. Do you think the opposition stands any chance with this level of intimidation ahead of the next year elections?
Well, we have seen very copious and visible signs of intimidation, harassment, what have you. We've never had it so bad in terms of leadership of our security agencies. From the Inspector General of Police to head of DSS, they have become agents of the man who presides over the country and not serving the interests of Nigerians as it should be, as contained in the constitution of the country. But we're not going to be deterred. We are not going to express any atom of fear because our inalienable right must be properly taken care of in the process of election. The right to vote and be voted for. We have seen scenarios in Ekiti. We have seen scenarios in Osun. But in the general elections, they are not going to have 30,000 police to deploy to one state, each of the states of the Federation. What is the capacity of our police? What is the capacity of our military? We are saying that do not even expose all these people to the vagaries of election rigging and manipulation, because that is not their primary responsibility.
Can you talk a little bit about your story with the DSS after you were harassed for the anti, quote-unquote, Buhari statement? No, what happened?
It is part of the panic measures that tells you easily that this government is on its way.
How did you survive? Were you scared at some point?
Why will I be scared of my country?
You were declared wanted.
They declared me wanted for nothing. I had to submit myself as a responsible citizen. I am not afraid of my country because this is my country. I went to the police headquarters and they told me, oh, sorry, we've seen that your boss, actually stood by what you said. They had a Disney newspaper before them. I said, then why did you have to go and embarrass me on pages of on televisions and all of that, putting my pictures as if I'm one common criminal? After, when I was leaving, the DSS also called me. I went there, spent 7 hours waiting for one director of operations that never came. The following day, I went and they interrogated me. Say, are you sure you are the owner of you are the director of that this thing? Yes. Did your boss sanction? I said, come on, stop asking me all these flippant, frivolous questions. I have spoken for IBB for about 15 good years. I've never been found wanting. And you can't be teaching me my job. I'm a professional, for God's sake.
You wrote an op-ed that corruption has risen in this government. What is your justification for that statement?
Yes, corruption has risen. You should see, when you see what is happening in the country, you marvel. Starting from the illicit funds that were allegedly taken from recovered loots. Even when previous government have paid for all of those legal services, they still took them here. Nobody's talking about that. You talk about Babachilawa.
What legal services?
For the one they used to hire lawyers to go and look for Abacha loot. It was a ding-dong affair. Up to now, we've not seen. We talk about the $43 million Koyi, whatever. We talk about money they recover in this thing. And we talk about several other recoveries that this government has touted itself, to be doing. Oh, we are fighting corruption and all of that. We talk about Abdul Rashid Mena and all of that. Even within the villa, even the budget, the budget for the haircut of Mr. President shoots over the roof. I think about 70 million naira to cut hair 1 year. So if you look at what we are saying today, some of us have information. Some of us have friends in government who will tell you, oh, what we are saying is mind-boggling. Because the man is not in charge.
President Buhari.
The Kaaba have hijacked him, and in the process, look, How do you rationalize it? The ADC to the wife of the president was allegedly arrested, docked, kept behind bars. Premier Times, reported it. They were trying to deny and all of that. But in the final analysis, we know that something was amiss. Because this is Nigeria. You have one person telling the other person telling the other person telling the other. Then before you know it, it becomes an issue. What have we heard about it? 2.5 billion naira is huge money. You say, okay, now the president promised to declare his asset publicly. He didn't do that. He only submitted this thing to the Code of Conduct Bureau and said anybody who wants it can go there and collect. That is beyond the rubrics of anti-corruption. Because it is not just you mouthing it that, oh, yeah, I'm fighting corruption, and you say, you must live above board. APC set 50 million naira for purchase of form. That is corruption on its own. What do they need that money for? They after rigmaroling, they brought it down to 45 million. And the president came and said, I'm the poor president. I don't have money to pay. Some faceless youths went and said they are the one buying the form for Mr. President. Arrant nonsense. In this 21st century world, the same youths that the president said they are lazy youths. Now they bought form. And I've been asking one question. Right. And please help me to ask President Muhammadu Buhari that question. Where is he going to get his campaign funds from? Will he be man enough, as a man of touted integrity, to disclose the source of his campaign funds? If Mr. A is giving 1 million naira to him, will he be man enough to tell Nigerians? If Mr. B is giving 10 million naira to him, will he be bold enough to tell Nigerians? Because it is only on the basis of that, transparency, accountability, openness in government, that you will be able to assess him and say, yes, his anti-corruption profile is actually intact. Otherwise, it's a bile in the dish.
The president has blamed politicians like yourself.
I'm not a politician.
Okay.
I'm a media practitioner.
Okay.
I find myself in the political space.
Okay. He has blamed politicians that their rhetorics they are basically escalating the various crises that has led to a number of deaths across the country. Your party has continued to put the security situation on the front burner. Do you think this is helping the issue? I mean, we look at Zamfara. It has become a theater of war.
My sister.
We look at Kaduna.
When a government begins to arrogate all the powers that it has in the hands of politicians, know that that government has failed. That means it has come to its wit's end. It means that the government can no longer think, can no longer create, can no longer innovate, can no longer improvise solutions.
But even the military blame politicians for the crisis in Plateau State.
You blame politicians. Please, have you arrested one? You are the man who has the apparatus of arrest. You are the one who has the apparatus of information collation, intelligence, all the security agencies. You are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. My sister, if people are tormenting your environment, won't you find a means of even getting one apprehended? Have you done so? It is just, signs of failed leadership for you to just blame people and issue blanket statements or so, politicians. That is convenient excuse.
It's very incompetent.
Not only incompetent, grossly incompetent. And I said this with facts and figures. You see, when you want to know a president that is competent, is one who knows how to respond to issues in a very swift manner, provide solutions, create solutions, innovate solutions, improvise solutions when there is trouble in the land. Zamfara State was under siege, so to speak, for several months. People were being killed. Dan Sado alone recorded 250 deaths in one day, reportedly. What did the president do? He didn't visit there. As we speak, he hasn't visited. Until the vice president, when he was acting president, had to go to Zamfara to give relief materials to those people. You need to show some level of concern and compassion to your people, to your citizens, so that they will own that, oh man, I have a president who is going to come into my aid when I have crisis. What do you think keeps a country going? It is hope. When people are hopeful that today will be better than yesterday, and that tomorrow will be better than today, that is hope. It is what keeps the people hopeful and keeps them going. But when they become hopeless, that's when they resort to self-help. And as we speak now, our military is overstretched. In Zamfara, they are there. They occupy about 26, 27 states in the country. They are overstretched. Under a democracy, police ought to provide the basic internal security. It is not the responsibility of the military. The military ought to provide security for protecting our territorial integrity. But because of the peculiar situation we find ourselves, Boko Haram there, killings today, killings tomorrow. Go and pick a newspaper today, you will see that certain persons have been killed. A barrack was almost overtaken in Borno State yesterday. I saw it in the papers today, until they were repelled. And yet, government apologists will come and tell us lies. The country has never been this polarized in the history of our 58 years of being an independent nation. We have never been this polarized. There are divisions, there's nepotism, there's cronyism, there's favoritism, there's professional treatment, there's selective amnesia. All of this ram into one presidency. And you think we're going to make headway? We can't make headway. When one state in this country from the north, from the president home state, are having over 53 appointees.
So what if Buhari wins the 2019 elections?
That's a bad prayer. Please do not give me that hypothetical.
What does this mean for you? What does this mean for Nigerians and your party?
Please, you see, when you see, no, when I'm praying, I am not putting if. I am praying fervently and I'm fasting. I am doing so with all seriousness because...
But he's a major aspirant for the election.
See, Mercy, Nigerians are suffering. People with creativity, with intellect and everything, they are roaming the streets without jobs. 9.3 million jobs lost in this country, and government is not doing anything about it. There's no entrepreneurial initiatives. Did you see what Tony Elumelu as an individual is doing? 5,000 entrepreneurs. That is how to grow an economy in Africa. That's how to grow economy. That's how to empower people. Do you go to Nigeria and different embassies in this country and see the number of people queuing up to check out of this country? Even Libya, that was in crisis situation. You see how many people that were deported from Libya? When they narrate their ordeals, you will weep for this country. And yet, we're about the sixth largest oil producer.
But there's a social investment program by the government.
Oh, save me that
10,000
bullshit. Save me all of that. When a government is paying 30,000 to certain trader money, it is mere tokenism. That is not how to grow an economy. That is not how to reflect the economy. No! These are the exclusive preserve of philanthropists. Government cannot play the role of a Father Christmas. No, government creates institutions that will encourage productivity. Then production will now attract people to work in them. If I come today and I distribute 5,000 naira to your crew members and all of that, I'm not going to be helping you. But if I tell you, okay, there's a camera manufacturing company, I set it up, and people can buy cameras, they can make a living on their own. That is how to go about Nigeria. Not you carrying our money that you cannot trace. You say you have catered for 300,000 people. As I speak, each time I go to my village, we have about 100,000 people. I have asked questions. Anybody who is enjoying trader money to raise up his hand. Each time we are holding meetings, political campaigns. I have not seen one person. Then how do you tell me that the government is doing something? When you talk about social welfare program, you talk about a school feeding program and all of that. I ask you a question. Have you built the infrastructure of the schools? That you now think that it is only just to feed the children that we use to attract them. The emergency schools they built in the north, where are they today? Have you sustained the momentum that was created by previous government? It is convenient for you to attack previous government and all of that. It is only when you are failing and you don't have a way out that it is convenient for you to rain abuses on previous government. What are you doing? Nigerians know that the government that you succeeded didn't work to their expectations. What have you done to improve their lot? You have taken Nigeria to become the poverty capital of the world. That's a big minus. You've taken dollars to 360 naira per dollar. That is wrong. Exchange rates regime, about 14 exchange rate. There's exchange rate for those who are going on pilgrimage. There's exchange rate for those who are going to go to import. There's exchange rate for people who are government friends of government. There are so many exchange rates in this country. How do you want to make progress with this kind of scenario? That is why we are saying that rather than lament, rather than sit back, I have elected to be part and parcel of the process of people who will ensure that we vote out this government in 2019. If they like, let them open the gate of the barracks of police and army. We will resist them. We don't have bayonets, we don't have ammunition. We will use our mouth to appeal to the consciences of Nigerians. It is about APC versus Nigerians. It's not about PDP. It's about Nigerians. There is poverty, there is hunger in the land, there is unemployment, there is underemployment. So many things have broken down. And when they want to tell you, they say, oh, we have achieved so much, railway is now running and all of that. And somebody said, oh, we are only running 90 kilometers of railway from this because of cows. So I will know that the railway will not kill cows along its I am pained by the realities that we see in Nigeria today. And that is why I say, for a 21st century world, you need a man who has the intellectual know-how to be able to move the country forward. President Buhari has not done a refresher course in the last 30 years. If he has done, please let him provide one. So how will he understand what is happening in the country? How will he interact at the global level and people will listen to him? You prepare a speech for him, even his manner of delivery is somehow, it's awful. So what are we talking about? Please, I want to see a president that inspires hope. I want to see a president that instills hope in the minds of the people. And that way, collectively, we will move the aspirations of the country forward.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.